Hello, I'm Domonique Foxworth, joining you from Podville Media in Washington, D.C. This is the only NFL show that's undefeated. Today, we discuss if the Finns are for real, a titan amongst mortals, and a new look steel curtain. Warning, this week I'm mean mugging Aaron Rodgers like Ndamukong Suh. Cause I don't give a damn. That was a pretty awful mean mug. I'm a father, no longer
Hey, you a daddy.
Yeah.
Now you a daddy.
All right, this is another exciting week of football. So here to discuss it all, the voice you just heard, my man, ESPN correspondent. He's a correspondent now, Ryan Clark. What up, RC?
Hey, man, that's where you know you really made it, dog. When you become a correspondent. That's a fancy way of saying he used to play. That's all.
That's fair. I want to know if you still got a mean mug. I'm not gonna ask you to do it. I just want to know if you still got it. I can't muster it unless it's like genuine. I can't give you a fake one.
Hey, man, you know, once you get to our age, bro, you got to save those joints anyway. You know what I mean? I got like one or two left, and that's for whatever dude comes to the house and asks to marry my daughter. Like, I'm going to hold those to that.
All right, let's go to the control room. Big Tram was the first topic.
Is it time to take Brian Flores and the Miami Dolphins seriously?
Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by seriously. They are number 2 in the division. The team in front of them is in a swoon right now. The Bills just lost 2 in a row. And the thing that I love about what the Dolphins are doing, and it's probably appropriate because Brian Flores is the defensive coach, is that secondary, man. They are playing really good in the secondary. Xavier Howard's been awesome. Byron Jones has been in and out of the lineup. But I like what they're doing out there on defense, building forward and overcoming the expectations we had of them last year and this year. What do you think, RC?
No, I agree with you, man. Remember, we thought they were tanking last year. And I think one thing I look at with this team, they don't have a tanking coach. And for whatever you think about Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's also not a tanking quarterback. He's a dude that's going to compete. And so if you watch the offense, they compete around him, but you're exactly on the head or hit it on the head when you talk about this defense. When Byron Jones is active, they are really good. Xavier Howard, who got the big contract before Byron Jones, has played extremely well, making plays on the ball. They attack up front. And I believe that when you look at this team, you have to take them seriously from the point that they aren't Adam Gase's Miami Dolphins anymore. This team works hard, they compete, they're disciplined, and they make every game interesting down to the very end. So I don't believe they're a playoff team, but they're definitely a team that's going to fight until the end of this season.
Yeah, they're on the rise. My biggest argument against them when I thought they were tanking last year was the type of behavior that it creates. The culture that it develops is not one going forward, but they managed to get rid of a lot of their good players, bring in some draft picks, and still build a very strong culture. I think they started 0-7 last year before ripping off a few wins and then winning that big game that pretty much, honestly, probably is one of the major reasons why the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, because they won that game against the Patriots at the end of the season that changed the playoff outlook. So I've really been impressed with them. Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't a tanking quarterback, but I don't know if he's a championship quarterback either.
Now, you know he ain't no championship quarterback. We're talking about competing, not winning championships. They just want to be taken seriously. They ain't actually trying to win seriously.
I just be looking for food analogies for quarterbacks now. Ever since you went on TV last week and said that Andy Dalton ain't real bacon, he's turkey bacon, and then he went out on Monday night and was every bit of turkey bacon. Now I'm looking at Fitzpatrick like maybe he's more like candy. Like it's fun, but it's really no substance. Like you can't go anywhere with it. But every now and then you like to have a little Sour Patch Kids, a now and later, something like that.
Nah, you know what it is. Honestly, it's fun, it's exciting. You enjoy it, but eventually it'll give you a cavity. That's what Ryan Fitzpatrick is. You know what I mean? You'll win some games. You're going to play good. Everybody's going to be excited. You're going to compete. And then one day he's going to throw 4 or 5 interceptions and you're going to get blown out the stadium. But that's who he is. And I feel like candies are sophisticated. You know what I mean? Like candy corn, they know that they really ain't about nothing. They know that they don't taste like corn, that they're not really actually a good candy. But then if you get a Snicker, like a Snicker knows, hey, I'm that dude. Like the rest of y'all don't really fool with me like that. He's somewhere in the middle of like Hershey's without almonds. He knows he could be a lot better, but he's actually not awful.
This is in depth. I appreciate it because he does show up to the press conference with his shirt open and gold chains. Like, he's all about the fun, but he ain't gonna get you till next week. Like, it ain't meat and potatoes. You can't really hang your hat on all that chest hair and gold chains. But anyway, before we go any deeper into these candy analogies, let's move on. All right, Travieso, what you got from the control room?
Is Derrick Henry the best player in the NFL?
All right, you done gone too far. No, like, he's really good, and he's a great piece right there for the Titans, for them to build around, and I think he makes their whole team a lot better, and he's probably the guy who gives them some of their identity, but I'm not even sure if he's the best running back. He's playing really well. I'd love to have a guy like Alvin Kamara, who is the entire offense down there in New Orleans. He leads the NFL in scrimmage yards, and he leads the Saints in rushing yards and receiving yards, and a guy like Dalvin Cook. So I think Henry is important and impressive, but I'm not sure that he's even the best running back in the league right now. He just kind of embarrasses corners sometimes, and it makes you guys all get excited. Anyway, RC, what you think?
Yeah, I didn't think that was like a real question, that he was the best player. But the other thing is, man, Derrick Henry frustrates me, right? Watching him play upsets me. Last night, that was the game I studied and went through, and I was pissed off watching DBs and linebackers not try to hit him or try to figure out ways to take him down. Like, I think you had the greatest point when you were talking about Josh Allen. You were going to run as fast as you can and chop one of those knees. But I believe you got to attack him. I think everybody else runs up to him like, oh, how am I going to get him down? Nah, man, go get him.
All right, Tram, what's next?
How far can Minkah Fitzpatrick carry the Steelers' defense?
Man, you wilding with your questions today. So Minkah's great, but I'm not sure that he is carried that Pittsburgh defense. But since we have a Steelers Super Bowl champ here, Ryan, I'll let you go first.
He's a really good player in the pass game. But this team is about Bud Dupree. It's about TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Vince Williams. Devin Bush goes down. So we'll see how they replace that piece. But this front seven is amazing. This front seven attacks. They're physical. And when I was watching the game this week, bro, I was surprised to see how many Cleveland Brown players were getting splattered. Like, it was real hitting.
Yeah.
Like, it was the type of hitting where dudes don't use their arms, which was always like my favorite thing, because that means I know you sold out. I know you said, you know what? Either I'm going to miss him or he sleep. One of the two. You know what I mean?
Or we both sleep, which you've done before also.
Which I have done before, you know? And so that's what I really noticed about the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. I do think Minkah is an important piece, because as we saw this weekend, though, when he makes plays early, or when he gets pick sixes or gives field position, this is a better team, a dominant team. And that's kind of what he did for them last year. So if he can make some more of those plays in big moments, then it'll be huge for them.
All right, Ryan, you know what it is. This time of week, we always challenge our guests to a game called Betcher Avi. In this game, the loser of the bet has to change their Twitter profile picture to whatever the winner wants for 24 hours. Here's a look at Marcel Louis Jacques' profile after he lost to me. So as you know, Marcel has dreads and is now the reporter up in Buffalo. So I went and found my good old Cool Runnings, hit him with that Sanka with the frozen dreads.
Yeah.
I feel very Olympic today. All right, Big Trav, what we got this week?
Who you got in this weekend's big-time QB matchup? Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray?
All right, RC, as you know, I let the guests select, so you can choose who you pick in this matchup between these two butterscotch quarterbacks. Who you want? Look at them two caramels.
In the matchup of Werther's Originals, I'm gonna go with Russ, man. Russ is playing out of his mind right now. His team takes this win and he outplays Kyler as well.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. That's the one I would go for. Neither of them really have dominant defenses, but there's something about what DK is doing out there that is intimidating. I know Hopkins is a special player also and can make big plays, but if it comes down to Russell and DK versus Kyler and DeAndre, which I think it's going to come down to the last possession of the game, because that's kind of how the Seahawks do it. Every week, they don't blow anybody out, and they never get blown out. They just make them all tight. So I would rather have Russell in that situation. I think you're right, but you stuck me with Kyler, so I'll be rooting for Kyler to pull it off. Appreciate you, RC, as usual. That's it for this week. Follow the Undefeated on Instagram for the IGTV version of I Don't Give a Damn. You're welcome.